All right, welcome to Relationship Talk with Wanito. I am your host, Wanito, aka Juan, aka Coach Robinson, and today I am joined with my partner, Big G. Big G, say what's up to the people.
What's going on, baby? You know what I'm saying? I just came back from the death row shoot with Snoop Dogg and Suge Knight. So just
Bro, hey, you showing your age already off the top. Hey man, how was your new year? Happy New Year. Happy 2026.
happy 226, baby. Oh man, it was, you know what I'm saying? I brought it in real calm and easy. Worked my part-time job, then came on in. You know what I'm saying? Been using the hell out of my Ninja slushy machine, but it's a daiquiri machine for
Hey,
me.
no, hey, listen. Hey, we got one of them jokers here at the house.
Yeah.
Makes the best margaritas
Yes,
uh
indeed. Yes,
if you
indeed.
got the right ingredients.
Yes, indeed. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I've been a little lit after 10 every night this week.
Hey man, so what'd you do for New Year's?
Hey, just like I'm saying, work, came home, you know what I'm saying, had some daiquiris and counted down, went to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I am showing my age and I just don't do it like I used to, man. I used to be out there and trying to be out there on the scene and doing a little stuff. Man, what we gonna do tonight? I just like being at home now, dog.
Yeah, so typically like my kids are in town and well, they're here and we usually do fireworks.
Yeah.
But like last year when we did fireworks, I think I spent like $400-500 on fireworks and we blew through them in like 20 minutes.
20 minutes, yep.
And they just keep getting more and more expensive. And it's like, bro, I ain't gonna be spending all this money
For
for
20 minutes.
20 minutes of fun. Like back in the day, you remember you spent $500 on fireworks.
You going all night, baby.
You going for at least a good solid hour and 15 hour and a half.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like they trying to if you go in there with just like $100, you don't get nothing good.
Nope. Oh, it's starting at 250, baby. We got to go in there and get the boom pack, you know what I'm saying, with the big cannons and boom. Oh, yeah, that's starting at 259, baby.
Yeah, and then I'm seeing some of the people that I know they got fireworks lined up in the middle of the street like a whole block, and they just walking with them little blow torches, just
Yeah.
setting them on fire. I ain't listen. I ain't, I got a little money, but I ain't got money
Got
like
money
that.
like that.
And well, I ain't got money that I'm willing to spend on some damn fireworks.
Fireworks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, shit, yeah, you and me. You and me both.
Other than that, I watched a little bit of football. And we once the fireworks start going off, here in San Antonio, it's actually one of the most beautiful sights from pretty much any location because the whole city's setting off. Even in areas where they're not supposed to be setting off fireworks, they
Yeah.
set them off because they like, hey, what y'all gonna do? Y'all ain't gonna come out here and stop us. So the whole city be setting off. So you can pretty much see like tons of fireworks from any location just as long as your view is not, you know, obscured.
Yeah.
And so it's real neat. So we just like we walked outside, spent about 2 minutes out there watching the fireworks because it was cold as shit outside, and then we came
Yeah.
back inside, had a few drinks, went back to sleep.
Went back to sleep, baby.
Hey, so
Went
what
back.
we talking about today?
Oh man, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna discuss, you know what I'm saying, a little bit about control in relationships. Got a couple of videos and we're just gonna discuss about that. Control in a relationship.
Okay, yeah, I saw you sent me a video on it. So I'm gonna pull it up right now, and then we can check it out.
Yes, indeed.
Y'all seen this?
Why should a man take a baddie serious?
I just told you, when they make more money and they're the boss.
That's cool.
She's the boss.
But-
So he makes, what I was trying to refer to is he makes more money, right?
Right.
But she's the boss.
Okay, take money out of it.
No, it was money out of it. He definitely makes more money than her. She's still running that shit.
Okay, but
Okay.
take financials out of it.
Okay, so what?
What are the qualities that a baddie may bring to the table?
She's definitely more popular than him. I don't even know who the fuck he is. So if he respectfully, I don't watch Major League Baseball, but if he wants to be like with a young, successful baddie that is an it girl, that's what she's bringing to the table, because she's definitely, her follower, everything, she's more popping. So I don't know, sometimes like I'm a little bit older. I don't really care about social media and followers and all that, but the younger people do. You know that. So maybe she brings more like to the table, like for social media and like popularity or
But
whatever.
you're not answering my question.
No, you just asked. What?
No, I'm gonna guide you.
I don't know. Don't guide me. Oh my God.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
trying to
fine.
get to an
All
answer.
right. I don't know. Baddies bring a lot to the table.
Can you name something?
Great mothers.
Okay, talk about it.
I put $1 million swimming pool in my backyard because my daughter said she wants to swim.
Okay.
So I put a pool. It cost me $909. It was like $1 million.
See, this is what I be talking about. The type of females that fuck it up.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I got one question.
Ask.
What are we talking about?
Well,
Hold on. There's so much wrong.
in that clip.
First off, he asked her, what does a baddie bring to the table?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I hate the bring to the table discussion.
Yes.
Because if you're saying that if you're making the choice to be with somebody, they are inherently bringing something to the table. They're not coming empty-handed. They're not just an empty vessel or something like that, and there's other words to describe those type of individuals.
Yeah.
But I was not expecting her to be so flabbergasted and dumbfounded by that question, because it's a simple question. But the fact of the matter is that
I think that because bring to the table is such a topic now. So I guess he was trying to give her a question in that form. Better way to answer a question like something like that. What do a baddie has to offer a man?
yeah, and so I got that part right. I got that. I just in general, I just hate the bring to the table discussion, because it's you start getting into this I am the table, and sure, okay, if you are the table, what kind of table are you? Because I got an IKEA table that I paid less than $100 for, that's right here next to me, that my music equipment is sitting on.
Yeah.
I also got a $1,200 table that's in there. They got tables that go for 10 grand. So what kind of table are you? Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. The fact of the matter is that when he asked the question, and everybody knows what the table discussion is about, she was dumbfounded. She was like, and so what it shows, and it said, You know how they used to say city girls up?
Yeah.
Well, city girls is down on that one because that was an opportunity. That was a layup to advocate for women who deem themselves as baddies to accurately describe how you bring value to someone else. And for her to go to, oh, she popping, it wasn't a well thought out answer. And here's why I say that. Is there probably some validity to what she's saying? Sure. We can say that women of that caliber are likely to be of higher social status. Yeah, we can go with that. But the guy that's getting with that is of equal or higher social status. So you're still at a deficit. So you didn't really slay, as they like to say, with
Yeah.
that answer.
Yeah. See, that's what I was talking about. Control, because the first thing she's talking about, she's in control of that shit. She's running that shit. Now, women in that socio-economic platform where they looking at social status, they understand that I bring attention, likes, comments. That's what I bring. All right, because that's how they actually gain monetarily, you know what I'm saying, their income and everything. So you bring the likes and attention, but in reality, you're bringing chaos because you're going to have to get people to look into your situation. So you're always going to have the camera on. You're always going to have to talk about what's going on into your relationship and everything. And you don't see that that's the chaos that in actuality ends up ruining your relationship. So
Well,
take a
let me jump in real fast. I just want to throw this little tidbit out there. Someone like that, who, as you state, operates in a chaotic environment, they're likely going to be with somebody who has before or is looking to operate within that same chaotic space.
but that's not always true because we always see that men we look for the better. So we don't really care where we find that woman. I ain't gonna say care, but we don't. Our purview is wide. So she could be this, she could be that, she could be. We don't really have too much of a criteria for finding our partner, finding our mate. So we go out there and you see all these guys, and then you be like, why is he with this girl? And not just from a star mat, you know what I'm saying, platform, but you just see all these other guys who get involved with these girls who's always on the internet taking pictures of their bodies and everything. You know what I'm saying? We get that attraction, and then, you know what I'm saying, a few months to a year down the road, man, I just can't deal with this. Well,
Well,
what you
so
think you was doing?
so again, it's the type of men that are looking for that. So granted, I'm not a man of any sort of status like that, and I
Yeah.
don't pretend to be, and I don't claim to be. But I am an above average man from a holistic standpoint. I can definitely attest to not being the most attractive, but if you take in totality me as a whole man, I'm above average. Not super elite, but definitely above average. Um, I never look for chaos.
Yeah.
Because I'm not chaotic.
Yeah.
And so chaos was always a turnoff for me. Now, granted, I didn't always know how to remove myself from that because, there early on in life, I struggled with confidence, right? And so even though that person made me feel uncomfortable with her chaoticness or her toxicity, I didn't necessarily have the skill set to be able to remove myself from those type of situations. Now, granted,
Yeah.
as I got older and I got a little bit more confident and comfortable with myself, it was easy for me to walk out because, the difference is that the unconfident me saw her as more valuable, maybe from an aesthetic standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
than I was, because I wasn't looking at myself from a holistic standpoint, and I wasn't looking at her from a holistic standpoint. If you take a guy who is elite in all categories, but he is grounded and he's about business, he's about his life, he's about wanting stability and sustainability, and he's looking for a family and those type of things. He's looking for somebody who he can elevate or can come in and elevate with him. He doesn't want chaos in his life, so he's not going to attract that type of person. And if she shows up at his doorstep, he's going to shut it down immediately.
I would say that's true about men over 30 or even 35. Now, this guy he's a part of this social media era. Now he's a professional athlete, and he's not really active like that on social media per se himself, but these kids are growing up in this. They don't really see too much of that as toxic like we older mature gentlemen does, and we're looking from the outside. That's just like the old heads, you know what I'm saying, talking about our music that me and you grew up with hip hop, you know what I'm saying, and they just, oh, y'all music suck, you know what I'm saying, the shot lights, Hail Mary and the Blue Low. We all had that uncle, you know what I'm saying, man, when you listen to that trash for, you know what I'm saying, but we don't see it as trash because we grow up in it. Now, we're our uncles and older men now when we listen to this drill stuff that these kids listen to now. What the first thing you say it is? It's trash, which it is.
There's a lot more trash. There's still good within the trash, but
Yeah.
but here's the thing. Using the music analogy, we are, because we're wiser and smarter, we're able to sift through it
Yeah.
easier, right?
Yeah.
You can still find good drill music that's out there, right? Pop Smoke. I like Pop Smoke, right?
Yeah.
I grew up on 90s and early 2000s music. I like Pop Smoke.
Yeah. I like Pop Smoke.
Some of the beats that artists have come to rap and sing over or drill beats, right? And I know this because I do music production in my, as a hobby. So you can still find, but as a wiser individual, you can easily identify that Sexy Red is trash. Like it's catchy. Don't get me wrong, it's catchy, but from a musical standpoint, it is hot garbage all day, every day. But I can guarantee you, if I was in my 20s, I probably would be more susceptible to believing that that's good music because I don't have the wisdom and the experience of having other types of music.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying about these guys. I want to say 35 and under right now. due to the simple fact that that's what they go out there looking for. A lot of them now go out there looking for, or I ain't gonna say looking for, they entertain. Now, maybe they entertaining for a moment and they don't plan on making the baddie their woman. I'm just here to play for a while. And that might be his goal. I'm just gonna here play for a while. She's cute, she's very attractive, she got a nice body on her. I'm just gonna play for a while. I'm gonna put up as long as I need to put up with it. And when it's time to move on, move on. Like the video you shared about 3 weeks ago when a gentleman told me that's all you probably good for is a good time.
Yeah, and there's a lot of truth to that. Guys do know whether or not, and I actually was having this conversation earlier today because we were talking about relationships at work, and one of the things that I said is that men know when all the boxes are checked whether or not they're going to elevate you from a situationship, a fling, a thing, to a potential partner and a relationship. You won't know that oftentimes until they let you know that. That's why, a lot of women, and sad to say, a lot of women end up in 3-year situationships, hoping and waiting for the guy to finally come out and say, yes, I want you to be my girl.
Yeah.
If you're in a situationship for 3 years and that guy hasn't, it's because you've done something you've either done something that has excluded you from the relationship category, or you haven't checked the box.
Haven't checked the box. That's right.
And so, but you don't know the difference because he may not ever tell you, especially if he's a half decent guy who is self-aware. Now, a guy operating as a simp, he may call for a relationship early on. And a guy who is an absolute dog, he may not ever call for a relationship. He'll string you along, based off of the information that you provide for him to be able to string you along.
Yeah.
But that type of guy is a guy who would entertain that type of chaos.
Yeah.
And this kind of goes back to what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. Foundationally, a lot of guys have built their foundations on sand and not on solid ground. And a lot of it has to do with societal influences and not having a solid male role model in their life to show them that, hey, these are the type of traits that a woman of character, a woman of quality will have.
Yeah.
Don't worry about chasing that girl who is chaotic, who's out in the club, who's on Instagram with the tongue and yeah, period, and all of the other stuff, and clock it. I hate that one.
Hate
So.
that.
And the other thing, like every photo is a duck face, or every other photo is a picture of your backside, or you on Instagram dressed like every day is a pool day and it's the middle of the damn winter.
Yeah.
Like, but here's what I'll say. And I can't give guys credit here. A lot of guys get wrapped up in the aesthetics,
Yeah.
and don't pay attention to the toxicity that's underneath the aesthetics.
Yeah.
Like, if I heard it, who this woman reminds me of? My very first duty station. when I lived in the dorms, there was a girl who lived 2 doors down from me. She was bad, but not the smartest cookie in the cookie jar. But she knew that she could get by off of her badness. And so she did for a while. And you know, but she had a nasty personality. Like she was one of those people that having a conversation with would turn you off from women like her. She had a nasty disposition. Long story short, she ends up getting kicked out, winds up in a strip club in Dallas, dancing for a certain NFL football player who shall remain nameless because it ain't my place to be putting people business out there. But when you don't have when you're chaotic,
Yeah.
you attract chaos into your life.
Yeah.
And it's only a matter of time that certain levels of chaos is only going to increase unless you do a hard shift, a hard left or hard right to shift the direction of your life.
Yeah. Now, when you broke it down like that, and you talked about, you know what I'm saying, the different levels of the guys, um, being together, the simp, the guy who's going to be here for a short, and checking all the boxes and knowing everything. Now, we'll circle that back to our opening topic. Wouldn't you say that men have control over when a relationship starts, who gets the relationship, and how long the relationship goes?
So I want to say yes. With a caveat that it depends on what type of relationship we're talking, right? There's a segment of people who consider dating as relationships, which I think is incorrect because dating is not relationship.
That's not
Dating
right.
is simply figuring out whether or not I like you enough to invest in you and you like me enough to invest in me. The relationship doesn't really begin to you and start intentionally being with each other with the intent to have a long-term fulfilling relationship that leads to marriage and a family and kids.
Yeah,
In that scenario, it's either or
either or.
because a situationship could fall into that, and that could be initiated by a woman. Now, if we're talking to get into a meaningful, fulfilling relationship, it's on the guy. The guy is going to either ask the question, which I don't recommend, um, or he's going to be asked the question. The what are we? The what's the next steps for us? Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And then there's the ultimate relationship. There is marriage. And yes, I know in today's society there are women who propose to men, but that is an outlier and it's a small, minute, minor segment of the grand populace. 9 out of 10 times, the man is going to get on the knee and propose. And so he is the one who is opening that window that says, I want us to take it to the next to the ultimate level.
gotcha.
So yes, men have control over entry into long-term meaningful fulfilling relationships.
And so when we're discussing control and getting into relationships and everything on that line, why is it that women, especially women like the person in the video, they believe to and make statements like that. She runs that shit. She's in control of all of that. Why? What makes knowing that a man has to ask you, a man has to accept you, a man has to want you? What makes a woman think like that?
Oh, that's easy. So it's the queen paradox. The queen paradox is simply that you understand the queen has as much control and leverage as the king until the king says otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you think about it in that line of thinking, there's equal levels of control until the king says no, or the king says otherwise, or the king, what's the term? We'll just go with says otherwise because I can't think of it off the top of my head. When you have that level of power and that level of control, it can give you a false sense that you are in control, right? Because let's think about it like this. There are a lot of times that men just don't say anything, right? Because it's not something worth fighting over, or it's not something that's detrimental, or it's not something that's way out of line, way out of pocket. If maybe if your intentions are good, but maybe your execution is bad or whatever, men may not say something, and especially depending on their level of leadership, their level of understanding of their role, their level of social economic status, right? There's guys who got a bunch of money who they don't care what you do as just long as you there, right?
Yeah.
But in the end, they can cut you off full stop and you're done.
Yeah.
So they still hold that level of control. But while you're operating within your daily life, you're the one that's in control, right? You're the one that's buying stuff for the house. You're the one that's decorating. You're the one that's taking care of the kids. You're the one that's doing all of these things. So you get some semblance of control. But at the end of the day, when the king, the man says, nope, it's full stop. And so what I picked up from that is that she's operating from that false sense of she's in control. And 9 out of 10 times is probably, if it's an NBA player, like you were saying, that dude is off on the road, 300 days out of the year, or 285 days out of the year. I don't know what the exact time is. Sure, for 285 days, which is majority of the year, you got control of whatever's going on in your life because it's just you.
Yeah.
You may be even the one that tells him, hey, these are the things that you should be taking consideration, or how you should be dressing or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you're not operating from that same level, financially, emotionally, spiritually, blah blah blah, y'all aren't equals. The likelihood of you being in control is very little to none, because he has ultimate end stop.
Yeah. And there'd be a lot of discussions that, what I'm saying, you be seeing on these platforms, and you be watching, because I watch a lot of other podcasts. One of my good ones is Eight at the Table, where it seems like it's female dominant. You know what I'm saying? I get it for viewage. They know that females are going to interact. And that's what I try to tell a lot of young ladies. These Derek Jackson types, they understand that the algorithm is going to move with female interaction. Females going to comment, females going to share, they're going to make a topic, they're going to tag friends more so than a man will. So if you're trying to do something to make it your livelihood, especially on a platform to where we're looking for an emotional reaction because we're saying things to get you emotionally involved, you're going to cater slightly towards the female's perspective.
Yeah, you're gonna you're gonna embellish the truth to whatever side that you want to placate to.
Yeah. And so a lot of them don't understand that. But at the end of the table, you see these well-to-do women, and the conversations are highly about control and about what they're going to do and like what they won't accept. This is what a man is going to do for them, and all that. And but all their conversations all centered around one thing: money. That's why that young lady in the clip, she couldn't get out of money, because if you take money out, she pictured that if the money is gone, I have no control. So we can't take the finances out, because without the finances, I can't boast or have anything to fall back on to say, hey, this is what puts me in control of certain situations. And a lot of women tend to, especially when you watch these podcasts and stuff, that's their thing. Oh, I could do this, I could do that because I pay my bills. I blah blah blah. And everything is always centered around monetarily values. It has to be. That's why she couldn't get nothing else really other than finances. Because it seems like she can't wrap her mind around something that can be offered other than saying, hey, and I know what it is, and a lot of men tend to act like they don't want to know what it is, but they know what it is. The whole 50-50 and I'm going to pay, man's going to pay all the bill. My money is my money. His money is our money. And they played a little double word talk. Every woman's auntie, mother, who names it, positive female role model in their life, always tell them, you always need to have something just in case. And what they mean by that, you need to always have your little getaway bag to leave. And us men, we need to understand that that's the core of the man pays all the bills, my money, his money is our money. That's the core. That's the ground floor. This number one is a lot of women has been taught they need to have something put away just in case so they can get away, not to rely on a man.
So I think that if you as a man are worried about that,
Yeah.
you're already behind the power curve. You can't. First off, you can't worry about that because that's not your job. That's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is that you take care of which you have responsibility for.
Yeah.
And so, and that's, when you stand before God, if you don't do that, you'll have to answer for it. And it's just simple as that. Because, the funny thing is, right? When you read the Bible, and we know Eve screwed up in the garden, right?
Yeah.
She listened to the serpent, ate the apple, gave it to Adam. He ate it. And, obviously there's some details that aren't there, right? What was said, obviously, blah, 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 blah. One thing that we do know is that when God he questioned Adam.
Yeah.
And Adam failed to take accountability for it. And he pointed the finger at her. And this is just speculation. I would probably argue that that is the reason why. That is a large. Well, that he ate, because had she only ate, that would probably be one thing. And then also him not taking responsibility for her because she was underneath his umbrella.
Yeah.
So when you think about that, you as a man have to take responsibility for the things that are within your purview of responsibility. If a woman is putting away money, that means you as a man are failing, because you are providing, or you're not providing her in some area, whatever that area is, I don't know, but you're not providing her. There's some area where she feels insecure. And so she feels like that she has to. And you as a man will be able to tell that in how she shows up for you in the relationship. Whether it be, does she spend money on you? That's a clear indication, right? And if she does, what does she spend? How does she spend money on you? Because if a woman is busy putting away money so that she can get away, if for whatever particular reason that she thinks that you're going to screw up a relationship, why would she then in turn be spending money on you?
Yeah.
That's a clear contradiction in itself. So, and one thing that we know is that women that love their men wholeheartedly and that are not worried about that, they invest in their men. And that's time, money, attention, and effort. It's just simple. So if she's not doing that, then you need to, well, you don't need to, but you need to keep that in the back of your mind. But at the end of the day, that's not your responsibility to be worried about what she's doing, right? You need to be taking care of your job as a man and making sure that you're crossing every T and dotting every I, so that she gets to a point to where if she is doing that, she can realize that you got her, that you're a good solid dude, and that you're there for her and you're in it to win it. So then she could take that money and invest it into God knows whatever. And so that's the way that I think about it, right? I think about it, if she's having to put away money like that, even if that was like the upbringing that she was, that was her influence coming up, at a certain point, she's going to realize by how you show up in her life that I don't need to do this because he got me.
We will hope. You know what I'm saying? These, you know what I'm saying? That's for those women who's truly raised with values.
But that goes back to last week's topic. Selecting a good partner.
Select a good partner, right?
Oh, by the way, I got a video that's coming out tomorrow.
Gotcha.
On this topic, because on TikTok, the comments blew up on one of those clips. And, it was like a lot of, not all, some women were agreeing with what we were saying. But a lot of women were like, one woman said that there is not enough. She said there are more good women than there are good men. And then another one said, so let me touch that one first. So she said there's way more good women than there are good men. And I responded, I said that's a false narrative, because there are a lot of good men. You just ain't checking for them because you're focused more on what your wants are and your desires versus what you need. because what you need and what you want in a relationship oftentimes don't equal out to being the same thing.
They don't mix. They don't mix.
There are cases where you may get what you want and what you need at the same time, but the likelihood of it is not, because oftentimes what you want and what you desire are these men that are over here that all the other women equally want and desire. Whereas the men that will provide you what you need, that will be good partners, good boyfriends, good husbands, good fathers, good relationship partners, good business partners, they're over here, you know, and they may not show up as being the tallest, the finest, the most financially set at that point in time. They may not necessarily have the most confidence, or they may not be the most appealing from a visual standpoint. But if you were to ever get to know them, you would learn and discover that, damn, this is a good solid person right here that I can know that I can build a good solid a good solid relationship with, because he has some semblance of a good solid foundation, right? He was raised with a mother and a father, and his father taught him how to be a man. You know, he just ain't there yet.
Yeah.
But the other one, the other one got me. It didn't get me, but she said that there's a lot of men out here that get more than what they deserve. And when I saw that, I had to respond. I said, "Thank you for making my point that that men are better pickers of partners than women are." Because what your statement said is that he chose a good partner, but in reverse, she didn't choose a good partner. And so you can't it's just not one-sided. It's just not a one-sided coin. It's a two-sided coin. Both have to equally be good partners.
Yeah.
And if you're a good partner, but he's not, you got to X that. If you're a good partner and she's not, you got to X that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, you know, it all goes back to choosing a good partner. Because as you was saying, like, you know, these women are trying to use trying to use financial control as financial stability within their own lives as control.
Yeah.
Well, that even in men is an ego thing. And so unless that dynamic exists within the relationship, the framework and the structure of the framework of the relationship that's set from the beginning, that, hey, I'm going to be the provider, the protector, and all these other things. I just need you to come on board and direct the ship. Which, by the way, women are very good at that. They're very good navigators of the chaos that surrounds men's everyday life. Not the chaos that they seek, but it's just chaotic in general.
Yeah.
So that's just part of their nurturing ability.
Yeah. And I when I tell women that, you know what I'm saying, I say, now that's a great job to have. Now you may, you know what I'm saying, being the front person is not always the glamorous job, because there's a lot of stuff that comes with being the front person, and as we see, a lot of women don't like the negative side of being the front person. They want to take all the glory for the good side of the front person, but when the negative, the criticism and everything comes, they quick to throw their hands up and they say, "No, it was him." So the bad parts of being the front person, you need someone who's more of a, I ain't gonna say sensible, but more of a logical thinking individual to take their emotions out of it and being able to say, okay, yeah, let me back up, wrong, blah blah blah. But women being the coordinators of things, we bring you an unfinished product. We got it started. We bring you this unfinished. Look, I got the idea. It's here. I just don't know where to go with it. Well, because you're a nurturer and your skills that you are actually that you're good at will allow you to sit back as a woman, look, well, hey, let me quarterback this. Let me coordinate this. Okay, well, if you move this here, this here, this here, boom, and you put it this here, and you put it this way, man, we got something, baby. That front person, that man, be like, oh yeah, you're right, baby. Yeah, you. So women are great coordinators, but what we're seeing now is that they don't want to be the coordinators no more. They want to be the face, and being the face comes with good and bad criticism.
Yeah, but it's if you're not built for that, if you're not structured for that, it may seem easy when things are easy going,
Yeah.
when things are not stressful, when things aren't chaotic. But they'll for those women who are operating like that, they'll discover that when shit hits the fan, it becomes quite difficult. And I'll give you an example, right? My wife, early on in our marriage, was, she was, you knew that she loved me and that, she respected me and that she held me to a certain standard within her life. Um, but she still, from where she's from, the women are in control. The women operate, and the men are just kind of, sure, there are men that are of masculine variety and that they are holders, they hold down the relationship, but for the most part within her country, that's not the case, right? And so women are used to being independent, going, bag getters and being in control. And she brought some semblance of that into to the relationship. And early on, it was a struggle, right? Because I'm a traditional guy, right? And what I had to do to kind of get her eyes open to the reality of it is like what you were saying, that being in front, you're when you're in front, you're the shield. You take all the blows. When
All of
things
them.
when things are failing, it's your responsibility. And sure, if you want that, okay, I will take a step back and let you hold the shield. And so it was getting close for me the time to retire. And she was making her progress. She was wanting to take over to be a nurse. And them nurses be making money. So I said, okay, cool. I will enjoy my retirement. I will have my little income. I will help out here and there, but I'm gonna be a stay-at-home dad. I'm a get me a nice little comfy work from home job, and I'm gonna be a stay-at-home dad. You got it. You take control, everything's gonna fall on you. And at first it was like, okay, cool, I got this. But boy, as that clock started to tick down and my retirement date came closer and closer and closer, and that pressure started to really build, and it was like, okay, these are all the bills that you're gonna have responsibility for. You gotta be willing to take control of it. It wasn't long that she was like, you know what, hey, look, my bad, dog. I ain't got. Hey, look, I don't want it. I mean, granted, that ain't how she said it, but uh, it's like, hey, nah, I don't want that responsibility. I
Yeah.
want to just be the wife. I do want to work, but I don't want to have that level of responsibility. And so then the discussion became, okay, well then you need to redirect how you are approaching this relationship. And from that point, we ain't had no problems. And so
Yeah.
sometimes if you're dealing with somebody who wants to be out there in front, okay, let them be out front and hold that shield. Because it's different when you're holding that shield and you only have responsibility for yourself. Or maybe if you're a single mother, you have responsibility for you and your children. But add in the responsibility of having to take care of another grown individual that is fully capable of getting it for themselves. That
Yep.
changes the dynamic therein. And here's the thing, men were built for it. Men don't think about it like that. Men don't think about the fact that I got another grown individual in here. If my wife didn't work, I wouldn't be sitting here thinking about the fact that, she ain't working and that, she's grown and all this other stuff. Because really, her income is her income.
Yeah.
She whatever she bills that she creates on her own, she takes care of. But the house, the structure of the family, I have responsibility of that. And I've been it's not a thing that I really even think about, minus this $15,000 I got to pay the IRS though.
Yeah.
But that's the only time I really ever think about it.
Yes, indeed.
I'm like, yo, I kind of need to go back to being broke. Back to when I used to get a income tax check.
Yeah, dog. I don't know what that looked like no more.
Yeah, but I think that from a control standpoint. Now, granted, there may be guys are who are okay with that.
Yeah.
And to each his own. If that works for them, that works for them. I'm not going to look at them one way or the other. But for the vast majority, that's probably not going to be the dynamic of the relationship.
Yeah. It's going back to last week, when you're finding your right person, your right partner. Uh, two things, two conversations need to have at the beginning, from my standpoint. Finances, the conversation with finances, and the structure and dynamic of your relationship. And these two questions tend not to get talked about until late. And after the honeymoon period is over with, and y'all, the goo-goos, I want to be with you every other day, holding your hand, and all that stuff is over. And then now it's time to make a decision. Now you want to sit there and you want to talk about, okay, what's your financial status? You got good credit, bad credit. Uh, any outstanding debts? All this stuff like that. Gotta have structured in the dynamic of a relationship. How conflict will, be resolved. Yes, we are a team, but when we're on the opposite end of a decision, how do we move forward? Because at the end of the day, we're gonna have to move forward. You don't agree with me, I don't agree with you, but we still got to move forward. How will we operate in that lane?
Yeah,
Those,
and I would I'm sorry, go ahead.
those two conversations needs to happen. Needs to happen, especially the how we moving forward. But yeah, go ahead.
No, and what I would add to that is also a strategy. You need a
Strategy.
strategy. You need a strategy for your relationship, and you need to, lay out a strategy, and in that strategy, it needs to have your goals as individuals, your goals as partners, and your goals as a family. And within that family structure, including kids, dogs, parrots, goldfish, whatever it is that you're planning for, you need to have, what does that look like, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. And then every year you take a look at that and you restructure it, because things change, obviously, like, boom, COVID happened. That changed a lot of things for a lot of people. And so you
Yeah.
have to continuously go back and reassess your strategy. And is it still on par? Do we need to deviate? Do we need to, focus more attention here or there? And I think the reason why a lot of relationships are failing is because people are just willy-nilly in it.
Yeah.
They're just like, I love you. And then on Friday, I hate you, and we're broken up. And it's just based off of this ooey gooey feeling and blah blah blah. The chemistry dynamic. That serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine that it fluctuates here and there, and you don't really have anything solid that you've built the relationship on. And so you're in and out of relationships. You're getting smashed and dashed, and all of these different scenarios that are showing up. And it's just really, you don't have a strategy.
Yeah.
It's, we're just here existing.
Yeah.
And I was actually thinking about that yesterday. It was like, I need to go back and reassess the strategy that we have going into 2026.
Got
Cause
to.
I was sitting there thinking, and I'm like, I'm not really happy with the direction that we're moving. I think we've kind of deviated too far off the path. And I'm not talking about like from the relationship like between me and my wife, that aspect. I'm just talking about overall, like, we've kind of gotten into a point to where we're just, existing within the world and not really making moves coherently that to dominate the day, the week, the month, the year. And part of that, I realize, is with the change in administration and my job, it changed how I was working from home, and I had flexibility, and I worked a maxi flex schedule. So if I needed to take time, I could work those hours on the back end. Now I have to go into work. I have to get up earlier. I have to, drive further, spend more money on gas and lunch and all of these things where, it just changed up the dynamic. And to be honest with you, I just kind of been floating.
Just flow. Just going with the flow.
Just going with the flow, because I don't feel like I'm in control. And so where I've felt like I've lost control, a lot of areas have kind of just fallen out of whack. And so, that's one of the things I was looking at for this weekend, is that actually sitting back down and assessing where we're at individually, where we're at within our relationship, where we're at as a family, and then how are we going to change? How are we going to update with the changes in the direction that we were supposed to be on for 2025?
Yeah.
And I think within relationships, within marriages, that's something that needs to happen, and it needs to happen quite often. Because one of the things would you agree that one of the things that you hear too often is that, oh, we grew apart,
Yes.
or I changed and he didn't change, or she changed and I didn't change. Well, you don't really hear that from guys, but
Yeah.
and I think that that's a clear sign that there was no strategy set up.
Yeah, that's a good note right there. I might need to adopt that one too. Strategy.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things, right? You know, you do it at the beginning, right, with the things that you identified, but then as you know that when you get married, the dynamics of relationships change drastically
Yeah.
because now there is a responsibility to someone. As
Yeah.
a wife, you have a responsibility to your husband and to your children, and that's exhausting. As a husband, you have a responsibility
Yeah.
to your wife and to your children, and you know, being the conduit in between for the family to God.
Now, also being as a male, not only your family and the country of God, but the way the dynamics of our social, hierarchy is outside of the home, you're also looking to being a role model for other young men who don't have role models.
Yeah, yeah, and
So,
then
so
you take the brunt of the ask for the work environment because most of the times the male are asked to be the providers of the family, so we have to work. There's
yep.
not you're not given very many excuses for not working unless you like get laid off or or something like that. But then that you still on a time clock. You can still gotta be actively out there seeking
You
new
got
employment.
you got a couple of months, baby, at the most.
Yeah.
Now, on that note, before we head out, I was watching online today, and this guy had a little video, and he was like, "Hey, my best friend is getting divorced," and he started explaining to him about getting divorced, and he say his woman, is coming to him and telling him, I think we need to get divorced because you don't spend any time with the family anymore. I want you anymore. I want you this. I want you to be around. He was like, well, okay, babe. I've been out there working. You say that you didn't want to work and you wanted somebody to, take care of all the bills and the responsibilities of the home. And so he said that's why I got the Grub Hub and the Uber Eats, and I lift and do all that too on the side to make the money. So he said then the wife goes around a few months later and says, "Hey, send me $600 because I need to get my nails." And he's like, "Well, baby, I stopped working, all these extra, sources of income because you said you wanted me when you're here." And she says, "Nah, I can't be dealing with no broke man. Uh, I think we do need a divorce." Now that's the the look of a man, and the damn if you do, damn if you don't. You're wanting to be you want they want a man to be Superman, make the money and the time, and not understanding that being a traditional man or a man like you saying explaining and saying, hey, you taking care of all the responsibilities of the home, you're bartering your time for pay. So you can afford to have the amenities, have the lifestyle. Once you renege on the barter and you just focus on time, and when you don't have those resources, then you're deemed as being broke. And those like you explained, the shield, though that's the kind of stuff that men take all the time. Being that shield, we just take it. And a lot of ladies don't. I don't think they don't really care, but growing up in a situation where they didn't see anything like that, they don't grasp the understanding of that. You want me to do this, so I have to cut time so we can afford to do this. you get on me for doing this all the time, so I cut this here to be over here with time. But then the lifestyle changes, and you tell me I need to do more. And
So
that's
I think that first thought that I had is depending on your age, you know, you shouldn't be working Grubhub and DoorDash and all that other stuff as a main source of income.
no. He picked, he had a main job,
Oh, okay,
but
gotcha.
he had
Okay,
those on the side.
all right. So I'm tracking.
Yeah.
So I think that boils down to communication, right? And it's laying it out in a way to where she can understand the benefits of it, right? And given that cost analysis to okay, these I am trading time for money, right? And that money allows for us to do X, Y, and Z. Sure, I can give you back time, but we in turn will lose X, Y, and Z. If that is not, if you're not okay with that, then if you don't want to lose these benefits that come with me working X, Y, and Z, then I will have to continue to do so. I would also probably look at finding more meaningful employment as far as full-time employment, but that's nor here nor there. Let's stick with the scenario. So, um, and if she can't understand that or if she wants the best of both worlds, then hey, it might be exit stage left.
Exactly.
But you know, if you married that person, that's a failure on you
Yeah.
because all of that should be established from the beginning. And that's part of that strategy. It's like, okay, what are we hoping to get to as a family, as individuals, as partners, right? That's that partnership, right? Let's say hypothetically it's just a man and woman, and what are we looking at? Are we looking at the fancy house? Are you okay with a mediocre house? Do you want a small house? Do you want to live out in the country? Do you want to live near the city? What are these things? Are you expecting fanciness, or are you more of a moderate, or you don't care about none of that? You just want to be with me. It don't matter if we live in a cardboard box and ride bikes to work. Like, you don't care.
Yeah.
Like, all of that stuff has to be established from the beginning, and those expectations kind of laid out.
Oh, believe me, I know, because I tell any woman that's ever been involved with me and understand, I live very minimal. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be the Joneses out there. And people, why? Because I like experiences. I don't really deal with the things too much. I got quite a few things, but I have a lot more experiences than I have things. And giving me ain't no BMWs and Benzes and all this other stuff with me. Can I afford it? Hell yeah, I can afford it. Wouldn't have a problem affording it. But that's not nothing on my radar. Because I'd rather, if one was to call me tomorrow and say, hey man, hey, me and the fam, we want to head back down to Belize with the wife and see if you want to come. All I gotta do is say, when you ask me, I'm be like, shit, yeah. Where you booked your ticket? I'm good.
Yep.
I don't,
No.
I don't have to say, let me see what my check look like. Like I do a lot of that. I'll wake up on a Thursday and be like, shit, tomorrow is a long weekend from work. Shit, I'm gonna fly to San Jose to go see my daughter. Man, well, you could have did this. Well, I don't have that problem. I don't need to save up to go see my daughter. I called Delta the night before. Bam, 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 bam. I'm gone. See, I don't have to worry about that. And that's been a lot of, you know what I'm saying, pushback in a lot of relationships that I've had post my marriage, because it's one of those things that well, what you gonna do for me? Do well, this the program over here. We gonna save money over here. We're gonna save money. We're gonna travel. We're gonna do some things, and that's one of the things. Now, if you want a Benz and a big house, we're not gonna be able to travel, because I'm not gonna work myself into the grave to try to do all that. You know what I'm saying? We gonna do what do you charge? Do you charge the big old house that you're not gonna spend too much time in because we're working? And I don't knock nobody with a big house, but if I know that I'm working hard and I got 3 jobs, so I'm gone 17 hours out of the day, I can't enjoy, you know what I'm saying, a $400,000 house. That was the woman was trying to do to me when I purchased my house. She was like, "Oh yeah, you qualify for. I don't need a $500,000 house though, baby girl. It's just me and my little daughter. I don't need that, and I'm not going to enjoy that, knowing that I have to work crazy to be there, and all I'm be doing is going to work, coming home, sleeping." I said, "I'm cool. I'm saying 200 is my max. That's all I need. 200 is my max." And boy, people be counting your pockets. Man, all that money, yeah, all that money I got, I do. I'm not sure. I have a nice little nest egg.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna be working at 60.
Okay, player. Hey, listen, I saw I got on Instagram, I saw something come up on there. It's like Punta Carta, Punta Canta, or some in the DR. I don't
Yeah,
know. They was like they got these 1-2 bedroom condos that you put 5,200 down and you can get it for like 378 a month. I was like, hell yeah. Listen,
hey, hey, boy,
hey, listen, when I'm done, put me on the first flight out.
hey, talking to a player who'd have been there. Yeah, it's probably about 3 or 4 good ones that's there, and that's the video they show you. But once you're there and you got to live, nah.
But you remember, I grew up overseas, so
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right.
I'd have been to all kind. I'd have been to all, hey, listen, love Belize, but there are areas of Belize. It's like this ain't the nicest place to live. But don't get me wrong. If all I got to do is wake up and enjoy life,
You be cool with that.
I'm cool with that. So if I
Cool.
if my mortgage is $378,
You cool.
I'm cool.
Hey,
Hell, if when I sell one day when I sell this house, I'll take that money and just buy the damn condo, and then hey, don't have to do nothing. Cause
hey, hey, that's what I tell us black men who are like us, man. I'm when I retire, I'm not staying here.
yeah, cause
I am not.
I have my retirement check, my disability check, and my government retirement check. So
Yeah.
I am a high level Jamaican, not working 3 jobs, but got 3 incomes. Plus, hey, you know what? I can sit around and podcast all day long and just make videos and chill out and relax and get paid off of that. Eventually,
Yeah.
one of these days.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, my three spots is Panama.
oh, that's number one on the list.
Yes, number one on the list. Panama, Costa Rica, because there's a big American expat community in it's second to the Philippines. So second to the
Where
Philippines.
at?
Costa Rica.
No. What part of Costa Rica?
Uh, I think is it Santa Cruz? I think it's Santa Cruz.
Okay, because I've been to Jaco.
You went to Jaco? Yeah.
Yeah, Jaco was nice though.
Nice. I heard about it. I've never been, but I heard about it. Heard about Jaco. Yeah, but those right there, and you know what I'm saying?
What was the third one?
The third one, Vietnam, dude. Ho Chi, look into it. Just start looking into it because they building Vietnam up. They're building Vietnam up. But Ho Chi Minh City,
I know Panama. I know Panama is
but Panama's number one. Panama's number one.
Panama's number one on the list for veterans.
Yes.
And so yeah,
Long as a veteran, long as your veteran pension is, and because they're gonna if you're a veteran, they're gonna offer you citizenship long as your retirement is over $1,400.
easy cake work.
Cake work.
Yeah.
With that, as a veteran, you're gonna be able to receive not only your health care that you got with this thing, access to their health care at a $0 premium, because they just want you there, you know what I'm saying, for them funds for you to spend.
Easy. Like hey, listen, so I'm just waiting on retirement from the government. Not the government.
The government.
Government.
The government. Yeah. Hey, I got 7 more years. I got 7 more years. They're gonna. I'll probably stretch it out to 9 to put me at 57. So at 57, I'm good, and so I can start getting my pension, because I can't get my pension until, you know what I'm saying, from the federal government until 57. But I'm not gonna touch my TSP or none of my other stuff. I'm just gonna. So 57, that'll put me at 26 years, and then I'm selling my crib, and one of those three places.
Hey,
Preferably,
listen, you gonna walk out the house one day and see me living right next door to you. Hey, what up, man?
oh, baby, I'm in the Panama, baby. I'm gonna go down to the canal and fish.
Listen, by that time, all the kids be gone. It'd just be me and the wife.
Yeah,
We out there chilling.
I want to stop wearing shoes and just walk around being grounded, as my hippie brothers say, grounded.
Hey, listen, I don't know about that. I got ugly feet. I can't be out there. Can't be. Hey, listen, I rock socks with sandals on because my feet is ugly.
Hey, you been to believe, you know what I'm saying? You done been to believe them dudes' feet rougher than yours. They still be out there. They don't be looking at feet out there.
That is true. That is true. But gee, all right,
What's up,
man.
baby?
I gotta get up early in the morning and take my son to Houston for a car show. So we getting on the road at 4:00 in the morning.
Oh yeah, I'm about to tell you, Ty, I gotta get up and go referee in the morning, baby. Ah.
But hey, Big G, let them know where they can find you.
Wise Smart 22 on the gram. Hey, doing numbers. Be on the lookout this Wednesday. We starting back isms up.
I was about to say, I know I ain't seen no isms.
Yeah, I told you what we're gonna probably take. Took them on the holiday season now. It's been a minute.
Okay.
But yes, we're gonna start the isms back up. You know what I'm saying? These next couple of isms is gonna be on thinking logically. You know what I'm saying, and understanding certain things. And I think the first topic is going to be having to deal with our understanding about things within ourselves and our government, and how we are willing to, we're okay and willing to ask a person who works hard and become rich, and we'll tell them you should give back, but we do not ask anything about from our government, or we think that it's a faux pas to ask anything from our government that we give our money to on a weekly basis out of our check. So why is it okay for you to ask me because I have money and I worked hard to get money, and you're willing to take anything that I give you free and you say that I should give back, but something that you pay into every week out of your check, you say we shouldn't ask nothing from them. Logically, is that smart? So that's gonna be the first topic we're going to go into depth with on there. And this month here is all about logical thinking.
Okay. Sounds like those gonna be some good ones. But
Yeah.
all right, so for everybody that's wise and smart 22, wise and smart 22 on Instagram. So if you guys want to connect with Big G, make sure that you drop him a DM before you sign up, or not sign up, before
Request the file.
you try to connect with him so that he knows where you found him at. And for those who want to reach out to me, all of my information is listed in the description below. Big G. Oh, yeah, before I forget, shout out to our now over 4,000 subscribers. I made a post on Facebook about that today. You know, that's kind of been that's kind of wild to me because we just started, this every week back in September.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am thankful and appreciative to everybody who has found the content, watches the content, comments on the content, likes the comment, and subscribes to the channel and presses that button for notifications. And so if you're just now finding this content, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, share, and push that pin for notifications, because we do drop at least one conversation with Big G and I once a week, and I periodically drop videos, educational relationship videos, or videos of me sharing my thoughts about certain conversations that happen in our daily lives throughout the week. So if you want to be able to get those notifications once they hit, make sure you hit that pin. Big G, real quick, we were having a discussion about you starting a podcast.
Yeah.
Where are we at with that?
Hey, this weekend I am going to repurchase me a laptop. That's where everybody. I had a MacBook, and it's sitting right here. I took it to get serviced and wasted my $375, and something happened. It doesn't work. So I'm out of $375 getting the service and getting it updated and everything. But it's a brick now. It's total brick. So no, but yes, now you know what I'm saying. I've been having a little part-time job and refereeing and everything, so I haven't been having the time to go out and purchase me a laptop. But Sunday, you know what I'm saying, because I referee tomorrow. But Sunday, I'm going to get up, going to Sam's. Yes, I'm going to Sam's, and
Okay.
I'm going to purchase me a laptop. And you know what I'm saying. I got my other equipment already purchased, and so then you know what I'm saying. Within the coming weeks, before February, we're gonna, you know what I'm saying. We're gonna next week. I'm gonna have the name of the podcast for you. Already, I've been going over some things, but next week I'm gonna have the name of it, and from there, so we're gonna build up into the drop.
Okay. So we'll talk offline more about that, because I can give you some tidbits for you to build off of.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking forward to that. So Big G's got some things coming down the pipe real soon. And for me, it's Mr. Consistent over here.
Yeah.
We'll be going live more and more often here in the near future. So I appreciate everybody who watches the material, and you guys are always welcome to share your thoughts about whatever we talk about, whether you agree or you disagree. It doesn't really matter. It's all about the conversation. So with that being said, I am Coach Robinson. That is Big G. Everybody have a good night. Signing off.
Hey, next week,
Hold on.
conversation.
I'm still on YouTube.
On